Thank you for visiting the Dressage Foundation's website and specifically for your interest in planned giving opportunities through the foundation. We are pleased to have you with us and look forward to providing you with information about making a planned gift with the Dressage Foundation. My name is Jenny Johnson and I am the Executive Director of the Dressage Foundation. I have been with the foundation since 2009 and in that time have had the honor of working with donors who wanted to help provide funding for others to receive dressage-related education. I also work with the grant recipients who have been the beneficiaries of the generosity of those donors. You will see my contact information on the screen now, and we will provide it again at the end of this session. I am happy to speak with you regarding any questions you have about the Dressage Foundation or making charitable contributions. Charitable planned gifts are used by many donors to support the work of nonprofit organizations. They can offer substantial advantages for the donor and nonprofit alike. Within these recorded sessions, we would like to provide you with some information and details about some of the most common types of charitable planned gifts. We hope that this information is useful as you consider your plans for the future. We recommend that you speak with your financial advisor and attorney about these and other giving instruments that can be used to benefit our sport and you. The Dressage Foundation's attorneys and financial advisors are also available to discuss giving options with you. In this session, you will learn about charitable lead trusts and how they can help you. We have an easy to understand example that perfectly illustrates this type of gift. I would like to welcome John Boomer as the presenter for this session. He has extensive experience in business marketing and charitable giving, and his assistance with this session is very much appreciated. After being associated for 14 years with Business Week magazine, McGraw-Hill Inc. in New York City, John served for 10 years as Director of Advertising and Corporate Identity for United Technologies Corporation in Hartford, Connecticut. He has been involved in fundraising work for over 20 years and served from 1984 to 1994 as founding president of Good Samaritan Hospital Foundation in Kearney, Nebraska. From 1997 to 2009, John and his wife Lynn served as the sole management staff for the Dressage Foundation. And now I will turn it over to John.
Welcome to our presentation on the Charitable Lead Trust. I have prepared a discussion for you built around a real-life example from the Dressage Foundation's files. The Charitable Lead Trust is somewhat the reverse of the unit trust and the gift annuity, in that the donor makes a gift now to benefit a tax-exempt charity, and the donor gets the asset back at the end of the term. The donor, in effect, is making a loan to the charity and then reclaiming the principal assets at a later date. I never talk about the lead trust without thinking of a phone call I received some years ago when I was president of a hospital foundation. The caller, a rancher from western Nebraska, said, "Mr. Boomer, I'd like to know more about the lead trust." I didn't have the nerve to correct him at the time, and for several months until we approached closure of his gift, we talked about the lead trust. Today we will look at an actual charitable lead trust example from the Dressage Foundation's gift inventory file, although the donor's name, which you would recognize most likely, is being kept anonymous at her request, and I have renamed her Jane Doe. She phoned me one day several years ago and talked with me about what she wanted to do to help young riders. My reply letter to her, which we will now read together, I reading aloud and you reading along with me silently as the letter appears on your computer screen. Dated January 18th, 2007, addressed to Jane Doe. Dear Ms. Doe, first, let me thank you once again for your interest in the Dressage Foundation and for your idea to create the Doe Fund for Young Rider Support. You have a great idea, a good plan, and you are hitting the nail right on the head with your recognized need to help young riders defray travel costs in transporting their horses to international competitions and national championships. It is a real pleasure for me to propose in this letter how we might work together to help you transform your dream into action. The Jane Doe Charitable Lead Trust. Let's turn to how you can fulfill your desire to loan $50,000 in cash to the foundation, with income from the assets going into the Doe Fund for Young Rider Support, and with the $50,000 principal being returned to you 10 years from now. A good way to do this is through a charitable lead trust, an instrument in the U.S. tax code designed to do just what you want to do. Lead trusts are often described as a way to give your cake and eat it too. I have attached a preliminary computer printout on such an arrangement for you. As you can see, the lead trust works this way. Scott Kelly, foundation attorney, can modify to your specifications the lead trust agreement document that we have in our computer software. You would make a $50,000 gift to the Jane Doe Charitable Lead Trust. Simply write a check transferring those dollars from your checking account to your lead trust. The Dressage Foundation can serve as trustee, managing the trust for the 10-year term. We can discuss what the trustee's duties are when we next visit. Charitable Lead Trust. The foundation as trustee would invest your $50,000 in tax-free bonds, earning presently in the U.S. a 3.75 annual return. We stay on the conservative side to protect the principal so that the full amount is available to return to you at the end of the 10-year trust term. Lead trust grantors generally use tax-free instruments so that there are no income tax consequences. You are, and will be for 10 years, the owner of this money. You have simply set it aside in the lead trust, restricting its use to send a 3.75% annual earnings, $1,875 annually, to the Doe Fund for Young Rider Support at the Dressage Foundation. This would be a cumulative gift of $18,750 over the 10-year period to be used by the foundation for helping young riders as you wish to do. You will gain two strong tax advantages by using the lead trust vehicle. You will pay no income tax, federal and or state, on the earnings of this money over the 10-year trust term period. You will gain a charitable contribution income tax deduction, $15,169, with the numbers I have used in the attached proposal, which you may use this year. The IRS allows you 5 additional years over which to spread any unused balance. At the end of the 10-year trust term, the $50,000 corpus would be freed up for your unrestricted use for any and all purposes. This arrangement is irrevocable, and the 10-year term must be carried out as the trust document states. Scott Kelly can help you, too, in reporting this arrangement on your tax returns during the trust term. So, the lead trust, I believe, is an excellent way for you to achieve your wishes and goals, Miss Doe. I know you will have questions, so I suggest that after you have read and reviewed this information, you, Scott Kelly, and I visit by telephone conference call to talk this through, answer questions, and then if this seems like a way to go, we could proceed to prepare final documents. I can hear the shouts of joy from young riders when they learn what you are planning to do to help them. Best wishes, of course, John F. Boomer. Now, you read very well, although I could hear some lips moving. Here's a one-page snapshot of how the lead trust would accomplish this donor's wishes and goals. On the upper left, you see the $50,000 gift as she transfers her cash to the lead trust instrument. She receives a charitable contribution income tax deduction in the year she creates this trust. She agrees in the trust to provide the income stream to the Dressage Foundation for a 10-year term that she has chosen. At the end of the 10-year term, she gets her $50,000 cash back to use for her retirement years. Now let's look at the same document with actual numbers on it, which will give you a clearer picture of how the lead trust works. Note on the lower left that the donor is allowed by the IRS to take a charitable contribution income tax deduction in the amount of $15,382 at the time she establishes this arrangement. Most lead trust donors fund their trusts with tax-free securities, or if, as in Jane's case, she gave cash and had her trustee convert the cash to tax-free securities. By doing so, she avoids paying income tax, federal and state, on this money. Jane chooses a 3.75% payout rate, providing $1,875 annually, or a total 10-year gift of $18,750 to help young riders. At the end of the 10-year term, Jane receives her principal funds back to use during her retirement years. With the lead trust, the donor makes a gift of earnings that are set aside and designated for a specific purpose, and then Jane gets her money back at a future specified time. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the charitable lead trust.
Thank you, John, for sharing this real example of how a charitable lead trust can work to benefit our dressage community and the donor. If you have any questions about the Dressage Foundation or how you can support dressage through a charitable planned gift, please feel free to contact me at the phone number or email address shown on your screen. I look forward to working with you to create a stronger dressage community by becoming a donor to the Dressage Foundation. Thank you.